like to introduce Dr. Pat Patton. I first met Dr. Patton, I first met him at jazz camp years ago in the late 90s when I would come over from Pullman, Washington to go to the jazz camp down here in Edmonds, and that's where I met my husband also. Anyway, and so he's been an inspiration, and he's judged my groups also. We had him here last year for Large Group Festival, and I have run into him in Vancouver and in Anaheim for different festivals, and he's marvelous with the kids. It's absolutely a joy to have you here.
Well, you know, I'm from Casper, Wyoming, and Wyoming is divided into several different districts. You will need a, here, I finally decided to take a stand. Sorry. But Wyoming is divided into several districts, and events like this are, in fact, this is the time of year that Wyoming does this a lot. And so I leave on Monday and Tuesday to do another one of these in Wyoming. Our schools our state is divided into several different districts, and the students, come on you guys, the students go, it's set up in such a way that it's a combination of some of our larger schools and some of our smaller schools, and they've been inviting a guest clinician in for years now. It's hard for me to remember when I participated in them when I was in high school. And so the concerts, when we do them in Wyoming, are made up of a concert band and an honor choir. And the groups get together for 2 days, work on music that they prepared beforehand, invite a guest artist to come in and touch things up for 2 days, then put on a concert at the end of those 2 days, and it features the band and the choir. And so last year I was out here judging for this district here, right here in this auditorium, working with these folks. And Terry said, I wonder if we could do something like that out here. And I said, you mean you don't do this? He said, no, we don't. Well, sure. And so this is the inaugural, the first kind of give it a shot and see if it's going to work program, where the schools have come together. And yeah, we come together on playing fields and on playing courts and work against each other, which is a good thing, I think. But when we come together to create something that's meaningful and artistic and do that together as schools, that's a totally different element that's added into how the schools work. And so you're going to see and hear something tonight that's really pretty spectacular, because the music that's been prepared for this is not easy. And John Ritter is a wonderful, wonderful composer and conductor, and has built a piece of music here that he actually wrote for a guy named Mellows in Nebraska, who is a good friend of mine too. But it's a wonderful work. But here's a place where all these choirs will combine together with these musicians from around this area, that we're going to bring this together. And I really hope that you think about this, especially administrators that are here, to see what the value of putting something like this together is. Discuss it among yourselves. And my encouragement would be to keep this up. In fact, my encouragement would be to protect this, because very rarely do we have things like this where schools come together to celebrate something at the same time together. So I think I'd like to just say thanks to TJ and Sherry, and especially Terry, for bringing me out here and letting me be a part of all this stuff. And I think you ought to put your hands together for them. Like we still have a bunch that are off the stage. They're trying to find their way in here, and that works. Come on in, everyone. If you just look up here at the variety of different costumes that the students are in, representing each one of their schools, and the way that each one is attired for what they do as far as their performance garb is concerned, just the various colors show how things work together. And you know what? You need a bigger stage, ladies and gentlemen. Have we got everybody up here yet? Not yet. We're still coming on. Look at that. Wait till you hear this, ladies and gentlemen. You're really I'd be remiss if I didn't say something about one of the things that you already have going here in your schools are the booster clubs that support the choirs, and I'm sure there are those that support a variety of other different activities that you have on the campus, on the campuses here in this area. But tonight there was a whole bunch of Subway sandwiches that came from somewhere. I don't know how that happened, and parents there that were supporting all that and taking care of the students too. So you have a wonderful spirit here of support for things like this that I think should continue as well. So what a nice round of applause for those parents. Are you here? Could you stand up, please? Marvelous. What's that word you use? Scoochie? Scoochie? Scoochie. Is that Italian?
It's a Sullivan.
It's a Sullivan. It's Irish.